I want to discuss how contactees, or whatever you want to call it, abductions, whatever you choose to call it, doesn't matter to me, honestly. But they run in families, and how once a single person in the family has been taken, usually generally runs in a line of the family. And I had an older brother, Ron, who, well, he passed away some years ago. But anyway, he was with me on one of my events, like I told you about the rear of the car, where the orange orb up in the mountains, we had missing time. But he also had an event himself. And I want to explain something very interesting, how when I say that these beings are actually guardians of this world and they watch out for people. Well, my brother Ron was, well, I don't know how to say it other than very abusive to me, especially when I was young. He used to beat me up and do a lot of mean things to me and wasn't very nice. Well, that being said, I still loved my brother. It didn't change the fact that I loved him, but he did those things, and I wished he didn't, and I still hung out with him. However, these guardians apparently seem to watch out for me. They watched out when my dad attacked me in the barn and threw him across the stall. My brother was out in Petaluma, we're wee hours of the morning, out on I Street Extension, which is in West Petaluma, and basically sitting in the car by himself listening to music, and of course I'm sure he was partying or whatever out there by himself. But anyway, he told me that while he was out there, he said that he heard thud on his car, a big loud thud, and when he heard that, all of a sudden he saw all these little gray beings, very small ones. I'm guessing what he saw is what I've been with, okay? And basically he said they started jumping on his car on all fours. And I said to him, you sure they weren't cats, like he tried to say to me? And he says, they weren't cats, brother. He says, they were weird. He said, they were jumping out of the trees. And he said, I couldn't start my car. I couldn't get out of there. He said, they wanted to do me harm. He said, they were pounding on my windshield. They're beating on my car. Basically what he was describing was a very violent event. And they wanted to cause him harm, apparently. So he said his car finally started. And basically he split so fast, he said they were flying off of his car right and left. He couldn't even count how many there were. He says there's just a bunch of them. He said probably about 10, 15 of them. It sounded a little outlandish to me, but I'm the last one to doubt things like this. So he said he was petrified. He said, don't ever go out there. He said, don't ever take a date out there. Don't ever go out there. And I didn't really listen to him, because I went out there. I never had a problem in my life going out there. It was an okay place. But anyway, that was one event. Then he told me that when he was out Browns Lane off of Lakeville in Petaluma, which is out in the country again, he was with a girlfriend, and he was parked up there once again, late hours at night, he said, and the same thing happened. His girlfriend even testified to it and verified it, that these beings came out of the ditch beside the road and started surrounding their car, and basically they were petrified, and they couldn't start their car. And he was trying to get out of there again, and he said he tried to coast down the hill. He said, except when he put his car into neutral to coast, he said instead of going down the hill, it was pulled up the hill backwards. So they were pulling him backwards, and they're trying to get at him again. And basically he finally did get his car started and left. And like his girlfriend said to me, she said the same thing. She said, I wouldn't go out there, Mike. She says, there's something weird going on. Your brother's right. So they both saw this. This happened to my brother twice. He was petrified of these things, and apparently they meant to do him harm. Now, the only thing I know, they've never done me harm. They've maybe had contact with me and activated glands, did some implants, but they were always pretty decent to me. They always returned me where they took me from, and I guess at first I was a little frightened by them, because they didn't make any sense, but I had been seasoned to them all of my life. But I find it odd is that the different way they treated me than they treated my brother and his girlfriend. They treated me very well, actually. in reflection to how they treated him. They wanted to do him hard. He said they were pounding on his windshield out I Street Extension. So I just wanted to share that to show how the abduction experience does run in families, and they don't treat everybody the same. So basically, some people have some very, very bad experiences, and my brother had some very bad experiences. He also saw a gigantic orb. He was living out I Street in my sister's basement for a while when he was younger with his first wife, and he said that he was woke to in the wee hours of the morning to a noise that was coming out from beyond the property there, out by the trees, underneath their trees, and he wanted to check it out, and he went out there, and he said there was a huge gigantic white sphere. This time it was a white one, and he was petrified. He just ran back in the house and slammed the door closed. But he had a reaction to where, okay, I was frightened, but they didn't do me harm. Him, on the other hand, they were really trying to get at him. And there you go. So everybody's experience is different. I just wanted to share that one. Thank you.